Jim Wango's life and career sits at the intersection of Black performance, European professional wrestling, and the violent enforcement of white supremacist ideology in the 1930s. Although remembered today primarily through fragmented wrestling histories, Jim Wango's trajectory reveals how Black entertainers were simultaneously exploited for spectacle and punished for excellence, especially when their success disrupted racial hierarchies. Jim's story is not merely about one wrestler banned from a tournament. It is about how white supremacist systems weaponize sport and entertainment to assert racial dominance, and how a Black man's visibility, talent, and physical excellence became intolerable once they contradicted the ideological foundations of Nazi Germany. Jim Wango was born in Brazzaville in what was then French Equatorial Africa, or Congo, under French colonial rule. His movement to Europe must be understood within a broader colonial context in which Black bodies were extracted, circulated, and commodified for labor and entertainment, often without structural protection or autonomy. Hence, why we don't have a photo of Jim Wango, also known as the Black Devil. When Wango entered European professional wrestling, he was racially marked from the outset. His ring persona, the Black Devil, exemplifies how Black performers were marketed through exoticism and racialized spectacle. This framing did not negate his skill, rather, it made his body legible. And by legible, historically, that meant his body was something to be consumed, feared, and controlled. In the early 1930s, Jim Wango had become highly visible in professional wrestling and a well-known attraction in Europe. Standing approximately 6'5", he was billed as a heavyweight competitor and drew crowds through both athletic ability and dramatic presentation. His performances included spectacular physical feats, such as leaping into the ring from elevated seating areas, which aligned with the era's hybrid model of wrestling as both contest and theatrical exhibition, similar to today. In 1935, Jim Wango competed in a professional wrestling tournament in Nuremberg, a city deeply symbolic to the Nazi movement. By this time, Nazi racial ideology had become state doctrine, and sport was increasingly regulated as a tool of propaganda. Wango's consistent victories over white opponents created a visible contradiction to this, however. A Black man was dominating white bodies in a public arena to enthusiastic crowds, and this was not merely a sporting problem, it was an ideological crisis. Julius Streicher, Gaultier of Franconia, and one of the most virulent racial propagandists in Nazi Germany, intervened publicly. He framed Wango's success as an appeal to inferior people and declared it unacceptable for white men to be defeated by a Black man in sport.